What I want to look at here is it's just a brief discussion, if you like, on standing waves in an open tube. Hopefully you've already learned the basics of this, that your standing wave is a wave moving this way and a wave moving that way, same frequency, same wavelength, same speed, same amplitude, same everything. So two waves. Now you know that in an open tube that the basic, most fundamental, see, it's just my book falling off, the basic, most fundamental harmonic, or the first harmonic, you have your antinode here, you have an antinode here, and you have a node in the middle. So basically, if we represent it the way we would represent with a transverse sort of thing, we can say like that. There's some good applets showing this, but this is not the point I want to talk about. We all know about standing waves and that sort of thing. Standing wave ends up having the same frequency as the waves that make it up. But what we want to talk about is, how does the wave reflect off this end here? I think we all get an idea, if that was closed, there'd be a reflection. But it's not. The medium's not changing. Remember, this is a longitudinal wave, and what we're basically saying is these air particles, as the wave moves through at the speed of sound, alright, that we have a maximum amplitude, plus and minus, at this end point on the tube, both ends doing this, and we get the antinode. Now, how do we explain that? Why is there a reflection? Alright, there's no change in velocity there. We can sort of talk a little bit about air pressure and that sort of thing, but it doesn't really, you know, the explanation I like for this is to do with momentum. So for me, when we get to the end here, you know, a wave is always acting as a source of itself, if you like, anywhere. A wave traveling through the air, it acts as a source in 3 dimensions, spherically, if you like. It's always doing that. But without the tube, we don't have a wave moving out this way and creating a backwards wave. So why do we get a backwards wave when we have the tube, when we get to the end of the tube? And I think the thing is, when the wave gets to the end of the tube, it then goes outwards. And so we now have some of these particles making up the movements of the wave here, moving in this vertical direction, not just this horizontal direction. And so from a conservation of momentum point of view, we've got to have whatever forces were involved in allowing that movement to take place, there must have been equal and opposite forces. And although we haven't proved it mathematically, I'm saying this is what causes the reflected wave back along the tube. It's mathematically, it's going to end up being a necessity if this wave is to spread out as a wave. In here, the wave only had this direction. Normally waves have all the directions. Suddenly that's available, and mathematically what I'm saying, to obey conservation of momentum, it needs to have a reflected pulse.